In the bustling hallways of Evergreen High School, where cliques ruled and whispers could shatter dreams, there stood a girl named Aria. She was the kind of student who buried her nose in books, her glasses slipping down her nose as she scribbled notes during lunch breaks. But today something snapped. As Aria walked to her locker, a group of popular kids surrounded her, laughing at her oversized sweater and frizzy hair. "Hey, nerd queen, still talking to your imaginary friends in those fantasy novels?" One sneered, knocking her books to the floor. The crowd erupted in giggles. But then, out of nowhere, a shadow loomed. It was Jax, the school's notorious bad boy, with his leather jacket, tattoos peeking from his sleeves, and a glare that could freeze fire. He picked up her books, handed them back, and turned to the bullies with a low growl. "Back off, or you'll deal with me." The hallway went silent. Who was this? Why would the rebel defend the outcast? Stick around, folks, because this is the heartwarming tale of how a mocked nerd girl turned a bad boy into her biggest fan. If you're loving this already, hit that like button and subscribe for more emotional drama recaps. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next one. Aria had always been the invisible one. Growing up in a small town, she was the daughter of a single mom who worked 2 jobs as a librarian and a waitress. Books were Aria's escape from the loneliness that came with moving schools every few years due to her mom's unstable gigs. She excelled in math and science, dreaming of becoming an engineer to build a better life for them. But at Evergreen High, her intelligence made her a target. The girls called her Freaky Frizz because of her untamed curls, and the boys ignored her unless it was to copy homework. Aria's days were a cycle of enduring taunts in class, eating alone in the library, and crying in the bathroom stalls. Deep down, she yearned for connection. But fear held her back. Why bother? She'd whisper to her reflection, "No one sees the real me anyway." Enter Jax Rivera, the school's enigma, with his messy black hair, piercing blue eyes, and a reputation for skipping classes and getting into fights. Jax was the definition of trouble. He came from a broken home. His dad left when he was 10, leaving him with an alcoholic mom who barely noticed him. Jax rebelled to mask the pain, hanging with the wrong crowd, smoking behind the bleachers, and charming his way out of detentions. But beneath the tough exterior was a guy who loved drawing in secret, sketching worlds he wished he could escape to. He noticed Aria from afar, not because she was flashy, but because she was real in a sea of fakes. One day in art class, their worlds collided when the teacher paired them. For a project, create a comic strip about overcoming adversity. At first, it was awkward. Aria showed up at the library after school, her notebook filled with ideas about a heroine who used brains over brawn. Jax slouched in late, smirking. "This is lame, why not make it about a rebel who punches his way out?" But as they talked, something shifted. Aria shared how her mom's sacrifices inspired her, and Jax opened up about his sketches, hidden talents he never showed anyone. "You're actually kinda cool," he admitted one evening, as they worked late under the library's fluorescent lights. Aria blushed, unused to compliments. For the first time, someone saw her passion, not her quirks. Jax started defending her in the halls, scaring off the bullies with just a look. Whispers turned to stares, the bad boy going soft for the nerd. But challenges loomed like storm clouds. The popular clique, led by Queen Bee Lana, didn't take kindly to Jax's defection. Lana had always had a crush on him, and seeing him with Aria fueled her jealousy. One afternoon, during gym class, Lana orchestrated a prank. Spilled paint on Aria's project sketches, ruining hours of work. Aria crumpled to the floor, tears streaming. "Why do they hate me so much? I'm just trying to survive here." Jax found her. His fists clenched in rage, he confronted Lana publicly, but it backfired. Rumors spread that Aria was using Jax for popularity, painting her as manipulative. Jax's old friends ditched him, calling him a sellout. Isolated, Jax lashed out at Aria during their next meeting. "This is your fault. I was fine before you and your stupid project." Hurt, Aria stormed off, feeling more alone than ever. That night, Aria sat in her room, staring at the ruined sketches. Her mom, exhausted from work, noticed and sat beside her. "Honey, people bully because they're scared of what's different. But you're strong. Show them your light." Inspired, Aria stayed up all night redrawing the comic, infusing it with her pain. The story of a misunderstood girl and a tough guy who learns vulnerability. Meanwhile, Jax paced his empty house, regretting his words. He realized Aria had become his anchor, showing him that strength wasn't just in fights but in kindness. The next day, he found her in the library and apologized profusely. "I was wrong. You've got more guts than anyone I know. Let me help fix this." Together, they rebuilt the project, turning it into something magical, a tale of unlikely allies conquering bullies through empathy. As the story progressed, deeper emotions surfaced. Aria confessed her insecurities about her appearance, how the taunts made her question her worth. Jax shared his fears of ending up like his parents. Their bond grew beyond the project. Late night texts about dreams, shared lunches where Jax taught her to stand tall, and Aria helped him study, boosting his grades. But the biggest challenge came at the school talent show. Lana, seeking revenge, signed Aria up without her knowledge for a solo presentation. Panicked, Aria froze at the thought of facing the crowd. "I can't do this, Jax. They'll laugh me off the stage." He took her hand. "You've faced worse, and I'll be right there. You're not alone anymore." The night of the show arrived, the auditorium packed. Arya stepped on stage, heart pounding, to present their comic. As she spoke, her voice shaky at first, the audience listened. She wove in her real story, the mockery, the loneliness, and how one person's belief changed everything. Jax joined her midway, flipping through projections of his sketches. The crowd, expecting a joke, was moved to silence, then applause. Lana's smirk faded as even her friends clapped. In that moment, Arya transformed from the mock nerd to a symbol of resilience. Jax, beaming, whispered, "See, you're incredible," but life threw one more curveball. Jax's mom hit rock bottom, overdosing and landing in the hospital. Devastated, Jax shut down, skipping school and pushing Arya away. "I don't deserve this happiness," he texted her. Arya refused to let him spiral. She visited the hospital with him, holding his hand as he confronted his pain. "We're in this together," she said. "You've been my fan, now let me be yours." With Arya's support, Jax encouraged his mom to seek rehab. And slowly his family began healing. In return, Arya gained confidence, joining clubs and making friends who valued her smarts. Months later, as graduation approached, Arya and Jax stood on the school rooftop. Their comic won a state award, but more importantly, they had changed each other. Jax, no longer the bad boy, pursued art school with Arya's encouragement. She, the empowered nerd, headed to engineering college on a scholarship. Who knew a class project could rewrite our stories? Arya laughed. Jax pulled her close. "You did. You believed when no one else did." And that's the emotional roller coaster of how a nerd girl, once the butt of every joke, turned the school's bad boy into her devoted fan. It's a reminder that beneath labels and laughs, everyone has a story worth hearing. True strength comes from vulnerability, and unexpected friendships can heal the deepest wounds. So, if this tale touched your heart like it did mine, smash that like button, subscribe for more inspiring drama explanations, and drop a comment who's your favorite character, Arya or Jax. Remember, in a world full of critics, be someone's fan. It might just change everything. Thanks for watching.